Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production, and today I'm going to show you how you can duck sounds using MSpectralDynamics. Now, I believe this is on sale now. If you're getting this on time, it should be Black Friday or maybe a little bit after. And anyways, I believe MSpectralDynamics is the most natural way to duck a sound. So if you have two sounds going against each other, in this case, a piano and an electric guitar, and I want the piano to just kind of like move in the background when the guitar is playing, this is what I'll use. So I'm using this song I did called Mare Will. If you haven't checked that out, check that out. It's on my channel someplace. I'll try to leave a little tag up there. But this is what it sounds like. So I have an electric guitar lead and I have a piano here. Okay, so that's what we have. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make that piano go a little bit farther in the background. To be honest, when I was mixing this, I did this a different way. And here, just so it's more prominent, I'm moving the piano up in volume. But let's use this MSpectralDynamics to move our piano out of the way while the guitar is playing. So the first thing I want to do is let's just do default settings. As you can see here, this actually does have a ducker here, which is faster, but I kind of want more control to do this myself. So I'm just going to click default here in the presets, and it's going to open up like this. This is a little bit too big for me, so I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller there. Now that we have this, the first thing I want to do is I want to take this side chain here from my lead guitar and move it in here. So we have our MSpectralDynamics, we're going to open it, and we're just going to drag it in here. And this will depend on your DAW, but now we have our lead guitar going in there. To make sure that's happening, all we're going to do is listen to it and look here where it says side and make sure there's something coming in here. Okay, so our side chain's working. Now you might be wondering, normally around the processor it says something like sidechain input and you're like, I don't see anything there. What we need to do is use the detector here. There's actually quite a few options. So what I want to use here is just sidechain. That's good. Now, before what we saw was our piano. So if we use input, you'll see the piano signal here. As you can see. And now let's do the same thing with the sidechain. And now you should see the guitar signal coming through here. Okay, so that should be obvious now. What we want to do is we want to use this guitar signal to duck down our piano. Now, the reason why this might be a little bit more natural than others is because if we have just a normal compressor, it's going to pull everything down, all our piano signal. But what this will do is whatever we see in here coming from our guitar signal, it's going to pull those signals down in the piano, but it's going to leave everything else untouched. So this is almost like a multi-band compressor. So the only difference is the multi-band compressor or dynamic EQ, the frequencies are fixed. Here, the frequencies aren't fixed. This is like having a multi-band compressor with, let's say, like 1,000 bands or something, each going in here and ducking the various frequencies whenever it gets too loud. So what we're going to do first is just turn up this ratio here. We can leave the RMS length, but I like to turn it down. I like to make it a little bit faster too. I think the release is fine, but I just like to tack a little bit faster. Sometimes that doesn't matter though. Now what we're going to do is we're going to listen to it and we're going to pull down this threshold here until we see some gain reduction. So hopefully you can hear and see the gain reduction here. I'll play it and I'll turn this on and off so you can hear it. So as you can see, it's pulling this down. You can also make this a little bit stronger if you want, but first I'll let you hear it here where there's no guitar playing, it's just the piano, it won't be doing anything. I'll bypass and unbypass it, and you'll hear the exact same sound. Okay, but when I have this on, and I'll move the threshold down even further, you can hear that that piano really moves out of the way. It's really putting it in the background. Now that might be a little bit too much. Another thing we can do is we can pull this down, and you see it's doing this, but they're kind of like rounded off peaks here. If we want it to be a little bit less smooth, we can move this smoothness down. If I move it up, it's almost going to act like a normal compressor like this. It's moving everything down, but let's move it all the way down to 0 like this. So as you move that smoothness down, it's going to collect fewer of the frequencies, which sometimes can sound a little bit unnatural, but in this case, I think it actually ducks them fairly well. And you can hear the other frequencies of the piano coming through. And I think this can, be really nice. You may not want it at 0% smoothness. I think 5% is about good, but sometimes maybe you want to move it down a little bit more, or maybe move it up a little bit more. You can also use the resolution to make this react, I believe, a little bit faster. Sometimes that sounds better. Let's move it here. See how this sounds. And so that's an easy way you can do it. If you feel like you're not getting enough gain to really hit the threshold, like I have to move it almost all the way down to -80, you can try using this Temp Gain to increase the input, and then it'll also decrease the output by the same amount, which you can hopefully see here. So all that's going to do is just increase the input and decrease the output by the same amount. So that way, if you have kind of like a weaker signal, you can do that. Now, messing with these other things in here can, achieve a lot of different things here. You might want to mess with the attack or the release, but that's basically how you do it. As I said before, you have something here, this ducking, and this does work. Sometimes I like to do it manually though, but we have this smoothness, etc. here. And I'll play through it and do it this way also. Probably need to move this resolution down. Let's try this one. So this one will also, give you nice results. This one, for me, I think the smoothness is set at 0, which is sometimes too much, but sometimes you do want this. But this can give you very transparent results. So using MSpectralDynamics, you don't have to worry about pumping. You just get smooth separation between your sounds. I know this is a little bit more difficult to use than some of the other duckers, but I think it's worth it in terms of what it can do and how it can really separate the sounds without interfering too much with the overall sound of it. In the future, I'll try to do a comparison between the different ways you can duck using the production plugins. But for now, if you like this, give me a thumbs up, leave me any questions or comments down below, and please check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Till next time, see you.